And we're live.
Hello.
Dylan, how we doing, buddy?
Doing good today.
It's officially the holiday season.
Officially, we're here.
Can you believe it? Fall back has happened.
We're in the middle of it.
I know.
Halloween happened.
That's true. The fall back happened, and somehow I completely was unaware that it was happening as early as it did.
I know. I was like, I went out that night with a friend to a comedy show, and I was like, oh man, it's late. I'm gonna get home. It's gonna be. And then I look at the clock. I'm like, wait, it's 1 again.
Yeah.
Like, oh, nice.
I woke up and I was like, man, it feels great. You know, I looked at all my clocks and I'm like, wait, what's going on? You look at your phone and that's what kind of was a reminder. I didn't get a blast from email, from any like work stuff. Usually the work reminds you like, hey, don't forget to set your clocks back. I didn't hear it. I didn't see any buzz about it.
Yeah, usually I feel like weird. Somebody reminds me.
Yeah.
None.
And I kind of had thought about it, but for some reason I thought it was more like the second week of November, not the first one. But anyway, here we are. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's kind of weird because it fell as early as it did. Between Halloween and it's first Sunday happening right away. But yeah,
right then.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, any big plans for the holiday season?
None.
None?
No, just taking it easy. Just relaxing. I don't know. I feel like this. It's been a chill year, I've done most of my big stuff during the year, so now it's time to just chill.
Time to chill out.
Yeah. What about you?
Chill out from like spending money, or what's the goal?
Yeah, spending money and traveling.
Yeah,
because I had that week where I went to 3 different states.
I'm looking forward to having a child, and which is coming up.
You do got big plans.
I know. I have that coming up, and I'm looking forward to not spending money. Like my wife and I go out to eat a lot, and I'm hoping with us taking some time off, we can like stay home, cook, do all that stuff, and not have to worry as much about going out to eat and doing this and that. We'll have a nice, good excuse to stay home and get a home cooked meal and recover some funds that way.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you there. I feel like it's getting harder to save money.
Dude, it's so expensive.
Everything's getting so expensive.
I had this moment like a year ago where I was like, I'm so tired of saying that because that statement I feel like I'm old.
Yeah.
Because my whole life, Amazon deflation was a real thing. That's what we always kind of termed it because Amazon, I felt like prices from 2002 to 2017, other than housing, really didn't change much. There was a lot of value to be had. Like there was value menus and, menus changed and stuff, but I didn't feel like going out to dinner jumped in price. I felt like going on a high school date, going to dinner and a movie was like anywhere from $50 to $75. You could go do that.
And that was a good dinner too.
Yeah. And now that's like a $200 night.
Yeah. I bought tickets to a movie to go tomorrow. 2 people, $35. That's just the tickets. That's not snacks.
Not snacks. Yeah, and that's not even dinner. It's nothing.
I have a fun little anecdote. We can talk about the rest of it later, but in Dispatch, the game I've been playing, so at the end of one of the episodes, your character goes to a movie theater, right? And he makes a joke about he spent $87. Some person on Reddit, of course, did the math and the research, and it was legit.
Really?
Because they're like, well, if he bought, because the girl that your character goes see turns invisible, so she snuck in a theater, so she didn't buy a ticket. So the guy's like, if he bought her ticket, then that adds up to the $87. And he's like, here's how I looked it up. I looked up the prices at my local AMC in LA. And then he breaks it down like, this is the price of popcorn. He bought 2 Sour Patch Kids. And he's like, and it equals $87. I'm like, what the fuck? But like in the game, you hear that and you're like, $87, that's a joke. and then you realize,
oh no,
that's
the reality we live in.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's just to go get snacks to go see a movie.
Yeah.
It's so I try to fight saying it as much as I do because my whole life, again, Amazon deflation, that was a real concept, and because prices basically were maybe increased by 1%, basically an imperceivable amount, and it was fine. And then in the last 5 years, I feel like things have more than doubled, and there are some things that have. I guess it really depends on what we're talking about. Like food, for sure, has more than doubled. But like that, there's certain sectors that have way more than doubled in terms of consumption. I feel like it's a lot of the entertainment stuff, a lot of the fun stuff. Like Disney, I don't know, man. I don't know if I really want to go down there. The whole Las Vegas, I've heard about like the model that they've running. Like these corporations and large institutions, like Disney or Vegas, for what I understand, is they've shifted to this model of less patrons, higher average ticket price, so that their revenues still climb up, and they have to serve a less amount of people. So it's like we're getting rid of the poors,
yeah,
and we're just going to like the upper class that has no problem paying the prices. No problem in their mind. Everyone's still going to complain, but they still go and do it.
So,
and that's what has been explained to me is the Vegas model and Disney and many other things.
I wonder how long. Me and a friend were talking about something similar, actually. If you look at gotcha games are doing the opposite, though. Because if you think of like the whales and the normal player base, I forget what it's just the fishes. I don't know what they call them, but the whales don't exist unless you have the normal fishes for the whales to gloat and play with.
You have to have the community.
Yeah.
A whale is not just going to whale solo.
Yeah. So I wonder if something similar is going to happen in Vegas. Probably not.
Yeah, I still feel like that's kind of the Vegas model that you can post about it on Instagram. Like, look at me, look at my room. It's all luxury. It's all Vegas. Wealth. Like, I'm spending money. I'm going crazy. So that's kind of that's the model that they've chosen. And, we've already seen this backfire for like McDonald's and fast food companies who basically took advantage of pricing, inflation early on, and they were able to jump their average price of their menu way high. I mean, it was like, it might still be this, but I remember it was like $14 to $15 for a Big Mac meal, something like that. It was like $14 here. So what are we doing?
Yeah.
$15 for a Big Mac meal? For a burger and fries?
For somewhere that's supposed to be cheap?
Yeah. And so that backlash, because it worked for a quick little second and then it didn't. And so now we're seeing the reintroduction of the value menu. They're coming in with under like $10 meals. Maybe the portions get smaller, whatever it is. So what do you keep looking up there for?
Oh, I was trying to see if we lost the viewer count thing.
Oh, I can add that here.
Okay.
Here you go.
I was just used to seeing it. And I'm like, oh, where did it go?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like somehow I can. Oh, here we go. I can get
Put it in the middle somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
I saw it move.
Yeah, what? We're gonna get it figured out.
We don't have to do it now. Oh.
Okay, there. It liked that.
There we go.
You go.
We got to have that big empty space.
You need it.
So,
price gouging. Yeah, I get tired and exhausted of calling it out. Because it ages. I feel like it ages me. Its prices are so damn high.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like, I'm the guy talking about the weather.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, okay, this is not. Everyone's doing this.
Back in my day.
Yeah. So anyway, big changes this holiday season.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
We're not a finance podcast. We're a nerd podcast.
I did get a degree in finance. Let's talk about finance.
Okay, let's
dive into option trading.
We were talking about audio quality before this started.
Let's dive into audio quality.
Yeah.
You're on a little adventure.
Yes, I have been really getting into I'm like right on the edge of becoming or not becoming, taking the first step to becoming an audiophile. So I'm not even qualified.
You're dipping
to be an audiophile.
The big toe in right
now. Well, Spotify recently, I know it's really behind. It released lossless audio, and that kind of initiated it all. Because I love music. I love listening to music, and oh yeah, you did.
What's up?
Are you an audiophile, Reno Astro guy?
He's got too many hobbies.
True. He could be.
No, he's a video guy. That guarantee. Yeah. He's a photographer, which okay, we could talk about files being like a cancer, not a cancer, but like being way out on the spectrum in terms of how weird things can get.
Starting to become one, more of a pixel peeper.
Yes. So yeah, like a photography nerds, that is a nosedive from Mount Everest. That correct me if I'm wrong, Reno Astro guy. That pit has no end. You will go straight through the earth and go over and start making your way to Mars. Nah, you're right.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. I have tried because photography is such a shared passion amongst so many people. I try to keep, and I bought my wife a camera because she had the idea that she might want to get into it. And then I just started taking a class and trying to learn like the basics. Oh, fuck. You go off to a fucking... And then there's like niches where people really like the old style cameras because they're not as advanced. And then it has like certain charisma. And then there's like the...
It's like vinyl versus...
Yes.
You know?
And then you get into the people who are really all about post-production. And then the people that hate post-production. It's all about their...
Then astrophotography.
Oh, yeah. There is so... That pit is long and deep. So audiophile is a close second, maybe, but man, the photography takes the cake for me. But anyway, yeah. So why don't you explain what lossless audio quality is?
Spotify released it. I was excited, and then I started to look into it, and this is what kind of started the snowball. So lossless audio quality is essentially with music that you listen to on Spotify or whatever you stream it from, in some form. Now we'll get into this of diminishing returns, but in some form you are losing audio quality, or you were, depending on what streaming service you're using and the quality that you were streaming the music in. So what that means is you were losing certain notes and certain noises. You didn't have access to those noises because it was just compressed. So with lossless, you're getting the full unaltered audio file, essentially, that the music studio is putting out. Now, that brings further, though, that you aren't, because your headset can't handle it. So it really depends on what your headset does and what you're like, it gets crazy at that point because Bluetooth automatically compresses it.
You start learning about every point that is, you start controlling for every point where the thing gets handed off, right?
Yeah.
Where like Spotify hands it off to your phone, that translates it then to the cable, that then translates to the speaker in your headset. Like you try to control for all those points, and it really just does.
And it was a snowball because I got the lossless. I was like, oh, sick. Let me get on my headset, and I started listening to it, and then I started to research more. And my headset, I have a nice, really nice Sony. I'll get the exact part. I have it on my app, but I have a really nice Sony one, and I was excited. It sounds great. I love it. It sounds really great. But then I did the research, and I found out, because it's Bluetooth, I'm not really listening to lossless. I'm losing some sound quality between the headset and my phone, and I was like, oh shit. Now you're telling me I got to do more?
Well, what's interesting too is when I was originally looking into this, I dipped the big toe too, and then quickly got scared. But back in college, so like we're talking maybe 2012, 2013, 2014 era, and the big thing there was controlling for the space around you. So noise canceling headphones, not active, but just passively, where you could isolate just the audio. That was the big thing. Yeah. You wanted to get rid of all the ambient noise and just be tuned one for one. And then I got kind of into it, and then I put it on a shelf for a long time. Then just because I'm into tech hardware, I've seen some innovations in that space. Now they have these open back earphones, which are really, really a popular thing, where it sets because now it's all about, well, now you should go into a silent room and enjoy the audio. You should have a sound space that you go into. But then what you're trying to do with the open back headphones is it changes the sound staging. So instead of a speaker vibrating right in your ear, the sound stage sort of fills the room because it's open back. And so it sounds like it sounds like you're in a concert hall, and the audio is filling up the room, and they're called open back headsets. But they're weird because, like, if I'm talking, you can hear me. There's nothing blocking.
Oh, so they're only for private listening rooms.
Yeah, like you have to be in an isolation spot to really like enjoy the open back. But people will buy those types of headsets for gaming and stuff. They're like, well, my ears get so hot and blah blah. I don't know. Gamers find a way to bitch and moan about anything. But yeah, it was just interesting that is because that was the exact opposite when I was younger. Was, hey, we get it as intimate, close off the world around you, and then you can have that isolated you and the music. And now it's all about the sound staging of it. So it's a constantly evolving thing.
And diminishing returns. At what point, it's the same, you hear it with 4K monitors or 60 FPS, frame per second, or the monitors for gaming. I'm sure there's other things, but it's like, at what point can you even not hear?
Yeah.
Can you tell? We just listened to a YouTube video that was showing, and this is a YouTube video, so it's already compressed. The difference between, what was it, 256 and
all the way down to 16.
16. What was the highest one?
256.
256. The real point we heard the difference, or the clearest we could hear it, was about 120.
Probably the jump from 64 to 128.
That was where you could be like, oh, that does sound better. But then from 128 to the 256, it's so hard. And so it's like, is it worth it? And the way I look at it, and I mean, I might get a nice wired headset, and then I'm done. That's all I need. And even then, I'm not looking to spend buco bucks on it. But the way I look at it is it good enough for me to enjoy, and I feel like I'm getting what I want out of it. Not, am I getting the best?
Yeah. For me, and this is kind of why I dropped out of the medium, is there's a minimum bar of quality where if I'm paying for it or if I have it myself, I just want to be above that. And as long as I'm above that, then I can enjoy the experience. It's a pretty low bar for visuals, which I'll get into in a second with your latest comment, Astro. But for sound, I feel like that bar for me is a little higher, just because we've all been in a movie theater, the X3D theaters or whatever version that has like an enhanced audio, and we felt that bass and the loudness and the surround sound. I feel like we've all had that experience and enjoy it, where you're like, oh wow, I really appreciated that. And I feel like that's a lot of the way to see an action movie, because if you watch a movie but you listen to it on like a quiet volume, your experience is totally different.
The music, the
immersion.
Yeah, my favorite example, Godzilla, to this day, blew my mind. I went and saw an IMAX, the 2015. Kyle's not here to tell me my dates. The first
August 27th.
The first one in the Monsterverse by Legendary. I was wearing jeans, and my jeans vibrated from his roar. And I remember thinking,
whoa, I'm there.
Yeah, like this is...
I feel like audio uniquely can immerse at least me more than visual, like a video. Because I feel like the video is just there. At this point, like we haven't seen jumps in quality. But to Astro's point, the same principle in he calls out vertices within graphics in modern games and animation too. Less impactful every generation. Not like those PS2 to PS3 days with massive changes. I couldn't agree more. I was thinking about this earlier today. is 8K gaming ever going to be a thing? Because, and I've had this theory in the past. I wish I need to do some independent research to see if anyone else has shared this thought. But hear me out on this. We've been chasing two beasts throughout time when it comes to computer graphics: resolution gains. So going from 720, 480, 720, 1080, 1440, 4K. Although I feel like 1440 came out after 4K, but regardless, right? And with every jump in that, that's like, the difference between 1080p and 4K is 4x. Like, it's 4 times the number of pixels that you have to render in 4K than you do in 1080p. So how does that all work, right? So when you're chasing that beast and you're chasing huge graphical boosts where physics are getting better, you're rendering more objects in the distance, you're rendering more details, more polygons per art asset that you have in your game, right? That is not...
And also frames.
Yeah, and frames, right? So you're like chasing, although I feel like the frames have always been around, 60. That's kind of like the bar. Or 30 to 60. I think we've hit 4K, and right now I would say the 5090, the RTX 5090 is truly the first true 4K graphics card. But I don't know if we will ever see 8K gaming really be a thing. And why is that? There will be a difference in detail. Like, you will just have more detail that you can show. But I think that's less important in a video, in a display, than being able to actually just see the individual pixels. I think you have to be within 8 inches or a foot to see a 4K monitor's individual pixels. You have to be pretty close. Well, that really depends on how large the screen is. Yeah. But for a compact monitor, most people play on a 32-inch, a 27 to 32-inch, I feel like is the normal traditional gaming display. And if you're watching that in 4K and you're sitting 2-3 feet, you can't identify the individual pixels. So I think you might have more fidelity, you'll be more detail, but other than that, that's kind of gimmicky. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to be looking at a full cityscape where you need to have that kind of there are very few games that might really be able to leverage that. So I think the push for resolution, I think we're kind of done.
It's going to start dying off.
Yeah, I think with the 5090, we're already there. And this is the other. Did you have a chance to watch that hour-and-a-half video of Jensen? So Jensen, he's the CEO of NVIDIA. Currently the largest company in the world by market capitalization. Back to the finance podcast. He's the face of AI hardware, I would say. He talked about the future of computer graphics, and specifically for consumer graphics. And these graphics cards will no longer the push, the advances. Let me start from the beginning, because this is kind of a little journey, so allow me some freedom here. We've pushed silicon to its quite literal physics limit, where we've gotten down to 2 nanometer width, where we're at the limit of the actual individual silicon, and being able to put transistors physically on a die. We're kind of at that limit. So Moore's law, Moore's law, for those that don't know, computer performance doubles every 18 months. That's the concept. And for the most part, it's been true. We've kind of fizzled out in the last few years with that, because we're literally at a physics limit for what we can do. We can't make it any smaller. We're at the actual limit for how small these things are. And so what he talked about is we have this new, he calls it hyper growth or whatever, new exponential, which is AI hardware, which is the predictive hardware of how well we can reasonably guess at what the next frame is going to be. So if we think right now that frame generation and stuff like that is sort of a gimmick, it's here to stay, and it's pretty much going to be the thing that is going to accelerate these graphics cards. Yeah. Like the entire Blackwell hardware architecture has so much dedicated to the AI part of the computation that we're going to see these chips and dies. They're just going to be more and more AI dominated. So let's read through some of these different ones here.
So Crisp says
Crispy, what up, my man? How we doing?
What's up? The only practical use for 8K, as I can see, is basically TVs and VR, and even then, it would need substantial improvements in AI GPU stuff or multiple GPUs.
Yeah, that's a good point with the VR stuff because you are right in front of your.
It's in your eyes.
But what's Crispy? Maybe you know this. They call it like local something. I forget the term, but it's like a new technology that's really good. It's a camera that tracks your eye movement, and what it does is it only truly renders the pixels that your eye's looking at.
Oh.
So it'll render this cluster and then sort of just kind of blur lower resolution everything else. And I forget the name of the thing doing that. But it works really well for VR, and it takes a lot of the computational weight away from
Makes sense.
from these smaller devices. But yeah, 8K. You know, when you're up closer, you definitely need the higher pixel density. Although, I think I've seen there's modern devices out here that I think are like 4 or even 5K displays that I'm not sure that you can identify the individual pixels, or we're kind of at that point there, but. And then Reno Astro Guy, quantum computing enters the chat in maybe like 20 to 30 years. Yeah, who even knows what the hell quantum computing is? I honestly don't know. I don't know what the future of quantum computing is. I don't know what ultimately that all means. Maybe that is more of like server embedded technology that then translates to better AI frames as well. Like if everybody shifts to more of a centralized computational, AI cloud, not AI, but cloud-based kind of computation. It's kind of amazing to see how these swings have gone. It's like we've gone from local computation to cloud, and then cloud to local AI, and now maybe we're going back to cloud AI, and it's interesting to see all this stuff. But and then Crispy says, I haven't heard of it, but I'd be impressed if it can keep up with human reaction speed. Apparently, I forget the name of it. I really should know this, but apparently it's really good. It's really good at predicting, not predicting, but only rendering the pixels that you're actually looking at. And if you think about it, even if it was delayed by, 1 or 2 milliseconds, not 1 or 2 milliseconds, but 1 or 2 frames, you wouldn't be able to identify it. You know what I mean? Like you just flicking your eye to one spot, and then it taking a frame or two to change the resolution dynamically of what you're looking at. It's specifically a VR technology, but
yeah, I was trying to look it up. The only thing, spatial computing, eye tracking.
Yeah, it sounds familiar, but
I just looked up eye tracking with VR. There was aim of this paper for no.
Oh, foveated rendering. That's the name of it. Foveated rendering. Yes. I tracked foveated rendering, ETFR. I should have remembered that. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with VR technology. Is that's a huge boost. That's kind of like a gimmick that can hold us over for quite a bit of time. To say, hey, that's where we're at with we can render at a high density what you're looking at, and it almost kind of tracks when you look at an object and then you kind of just are using your peripherals. That's kind of how the eye works.
Yeah.
Because of the way that the kind of the fisheye lens, like I see you, but I don't see all of you. And now I'm looking
detailed.
At you. You're not in detail.
You're my peripheral.
Yeah.
I can see motion.
And like I said, if it took a few frames to render that, when you flick your eye, jet your eye, it's going to take you a second to unblur just to focus, right? And you wouldn't even notice. And so foveated rendering, is kind of a big time technology right now that that VR is really pushing. That I think might be kind of cool.
But then we need VR to take off too.
I don't know. I think it's getting bigger slowly. It's still kind of gimmicky, but day by day, gaming gets more realistic to the point how we emulate how particles behave differently when observed. Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Simulation.
Yeah, basically. Don't open the box. Yeah. That's... I'm not even remotely smart enough to begin to know how quantum mechanics and all that stuff, how all that entanglement and all that shit's gonna, be able to generate. Every time I open the box, I try to look into it once a year. And it's like, oh, they got more qubits that they're able to run on, and we're over 1,000 qubits now. So I still don't think it's done anything interesting, but we will see. Quantum computing is very interesting. I suggest reading, says watching some stuff. It replaces transistors with qubits. That's literally what I just said. Essentially on an off transistor at the quantum level. Yeah, and so you basically take like states of at the atomic level, and that's what you're storing it on instead of the transistor, which then you can think of the density that's kind of what I was talking about. We're at the limit of, literally a line of silicon and all this stuff. Well, now you're at the density of at the atomic level. So now you can do a lot more stuff. Now it's just getting them all to play nicely. Like I said, I open that box like once a year, see where we're at, because I just feel like it's fusion energy. It's the same kind of thing. It's like, it's here, but it's not actually here. Yeah, that's kind of what, not to totally jump topics, because I do want to get into, don't let me forget, cloud computing.
Okay.
And cloud gaming, excuse me, specifically. I want to talk about that. But, Kyle's really in love with this Sora product right now. And I love the videos too. Like they're quirky and gimmicky, and I sent one in chat. I think they're kind of funny. Because they're not really good at physics. Yeah, that's the easiest way to tell how objects are kind of interacting with different scenes. And I'm kind of losing. It's not a gimmick. It's definitely not a gimmick. But I'm kind of, the novelty is wearing off on me of ChatGPT, of like these word processors and how easy. To me, it's because I use it every day, and it's just kind of here. To me, it's no different than the word processor. Or something. It's just like a tool that, and it's not as novel. Like, oh, I want to do this with it. I want to play with it. I'm kind of overplaying with it. And I'm at the point now where I'm sort of demanding more, like that robotic stuff that I sent you. Like, I want to see. I'm done with the gimmick. It's not gimmicky, but thank you for the natural language and that kind of stuff that helps, me formulate emails or papers or responses or fact check a few things, whatever it might be. I could do that piece, but I'm ready for it to have a real world product where it can start doing physical things that actually
like a
matter.
robot.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, I want to see it start to be applied to more than just chat, like just localized on our phones. Like, it would be so cool. I mean, I know Apple, I don't know if it's using AI, but like we were talking about the live translation. I don't know if that uses ChatGPT or if that uses some form of AI.
It's definitely an LLM of some sort, some language model that's running.
But like, I want more stuff like that. Like that, I find that
I need a product associated with it. Yeah.
Like, give me some type of translation device, pop it in, I can talk to anybody in the world.
Because like all the video generation stuff I've seen for a couple years now. It might be new that it's free to use, but it's been around for a couple years. All the ChatGPT, essay writing, email response. We've had that for a couple years now. I want products that are serving like a greater point. And so I sent you that video. I know you wanted to talk about the robot, that Neo robot that I
do we want to go back to cloud gaming and cloud
No, I think we could talk about the cloud gaming. Okay. We can end with because that's like its own topic. But
well, first we'll say Crispy says it's physically causing computers to crash because 30% of Microsoft code is AI.
I would be shocked if it's not even a lot more. Yeah, any new tool can be abused, right? And what we need to be. When I looked this up this is an interesting point, Crispy. When I looked it up in like 2009, I Googled this question. I don't even know what it is now. But I said, how many lines of code is Microsoft Office? And I was just curious because I'm like, if I were to be a competitor, how do I compete in that space? I was, in high school and I was kind of asking these questions of how I'm such a small guy, because these tech giants, it's really hard to compete with them. Like a startup, it's so hard to compete with them, right? And I Googled it, and it was like 30 million lines of code at the time. We're talking like 2010. I wouldn't be shocked if it's astronomically more now. And think about the labor involved with generating that much code. You're seeing other massive companies that are software-based companies that are laying off engineers going towards this AI model. And I don't blame them for it because it's this cool, sexy new tool that works. But it's a tool nonetheless. You need the same controls in place. You need the same code review that takes place because that's my job. I deploy software. And so there's whole processes that still need to be taking place. And when you're talking about if it's truly as high as 30% of Microsoft's code base, you're talking about hundreds of millions of lines of code across all of their products. That's a lot of information to review. And I don't know if these engineers are over there just trying to move fast and stroke with a broad brush and stuff like that. But, I'm sure, I don't know about Microsoft going down. I haven't seen or felt anything like that. But AWS broke the internet last week. Was that, how much of that was AI's fault? Because something got turned off. We'll never know. But let's go through some of these chats here.
Yeah. Reno Astro Guy says, AI in general plays an increasingly large role in genetics and neurology studies, which is pretty practical at the scientific level. Also, large particle simulations for physics studies. We won't see the direct impact or have products per second, but the things scientists and engineers learn using certain AI will most definitely impact our lives. So,
per se. Yeah,
somewhere
not per second. But, yeah, I don't, they're definitely, like, especially in science, these things are awesome tools. But as a consumer, the novelty of it generating a 20-second clip, that's for me, who's not a creative writer, for me, who's not a, someone that needs that every day, that's just a novelty item. And it's really cool that it can do that, and I could see the end game for it. But to me, it's just it's a novelty at this point. I want to see this translated to the real world because this is the end game state. And so I've heard the horror stories about vibe coding. Yeah, what are we coding on the vibes? Is that what you mean?
I'm feeling happy
I'm
today.
Feeling good. Oh, yeah. Depressed. Let's just go. It sounds good. We're vibing out. I don't. So what I think the next topic we're going to jump into is the Neo robot.
Yes.
And this goes right in line with effectively what we're talking about is what's the product that we have.
1x.tech is their website. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's a robot. It's a home robot. Affordable for what it is. I mean, I don't know the full functionality of it, because their website's pretty bare bones. I haven't really.
It effectively doesn't do anything, and it's controlled by a guy, at least in the beginning.
Yeah.
So a guy is controlling the limbs. It's a total gimmick, bullshit product. Don't invest. Don't spend money on it. Let
billionaires
VCs do it. Yeah.
But so it's an at-home robot. When I say affordable, it's because there's two pricing options. You can either buy it outright, so you have full ownership, $20,000, or if you want to rent it, $500 a month. And to me, that for a personal robot, that's not bad. That's
great.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a subscription model for these. It's coming to a town very near us.
Yeah.
Yes. It's coming to our home.
Vibe coding is where you code by telling AI to generate code without really understanding what it's doing. Oof.
Well, it's good and bad, right? Crispy's like, I don't want Amazon doing that and then breaking half the fucking internet. But I do want the entrepreneur that's 14 years old who doesn't know how to code go and do that and build really cool shit with cool ideas. I mean, that's what I want. It's so funny, Crispy. So I thought about this, and I actually was pursuing a master's degree in data analysis, which would have had a very heavy programming background to it. And I've coded in C++, I've coded in Python. My job is software development. Like I'm pretty versed in this world, and that would have been disastrous if I were to finish that and go down that path, because everybody who's a programmer is getting laid off these days. Why? Because AI is kind of stepping into that place. So I don't want to see these huge monolithic companies that we depend on just vibing out and saying, yeah, let's roll out this new code. But I do love the implications of being able to create things. You never touched code in your life, but you could sit there and have an AI assistant go, hey, I want to build a graphical interface. Okay, great. What color would you like to be? Oh, green. And I want it to say and do these things. Oh, I don't like that font. Change the font. Oh, I want to, how do I host this website? Oh, great. Let me jack into, let me buy you a domain, and here's, how we can host it and blah, blah, blah. Like, we're already there. We can do all that stuff now. That, to me, is what's exciting and why this tool's so cool. I don't necessarily want Microsoft and Amazon doing that, but
there's a difference between someone using AI to learn and someone having AI to have it do it for you. Yeah.
Well, let's read that again. There's a difference between someone using AI to learn and someone using AI to have it do it for you. I would push back on that concept, because the framework that I use to think about this, because we're now the Reno Astra guy. We're now the crotchety old generation, right? That had to write our own fucking essays, right? Think about the dude who had to put in nails. I'm using a shitty example, like nails with a fucking rock instead of a hammer, right? And now the kids these days will never know what it really means to put in a nail, or they have to do dovetailing woodworking for joinery instead of all the hacks and tricks that they have for joinery now. I think it's a tool. It's a tool that we can use that now exists. And so you can sit there and learn how to code, but does that actually matter? Now I ask you this question because is it worth it? Back in the day, was it worth it to learn? Think about, what is a programming language? A programming language is a cheat code to then rip code down into assembly language, which can then be read by a computer processing unit, CPU, to then be translated into binary, right? And so are the kids who learn how to program in Python, are they not really, leveraging it because they don't know how to code in binary? No, it's this leveling up. It's a leverage. What it is it's a leverage mechanism. That's what AI is. It gives you the leverage to pull on this and do these great things without really having to know how the sausage is being made. And I don't think that that's a disadvantage if you could just go out there and create. If the tool exists, right? I don't need to know how to smash a fucking nail with a rock if I have a hammer. I don't need to know how to code in binary if I have Python, which then allows me all the leverage to, in 2 or 3 functions, be able to do really complex math.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Math?
Yeah, math.
Okay, we got a few comments. Crispy says there are things that are laborious enough that I'm fine with using AI to skip. Then Reno Astra guy says, like coding for the entrepreneur. If they can create some cool stuff and have AI help them and grow and develop, versus Microsoft, Amazon laying off people to strictly use AI, a tool. Yes, that's the word.
Yeah. So we're obviously, we're totally in agreement, because I feel like there's a lot of that going around where it's like, oh, well, they're never going to learn how to write. And it's like, well,
It's a tough one. It's a tough one because
how important is that?
How
important storytelling?
Well, think
is
of
fundamental to
the way I like to think of it, especially with the writing, because I deal a lot with it. Like I'm going to school and stuff. You have Grammarly, you have autocorrect. That's a lesser version of this, and just think about think about how that altered. That I mean, it didn't really change things, but that it did. It was a tool that we had that.
I used to right click on words and do thesaurus.
Yeah, sped up the process for us to be able to type. Now we have something else that's even further, but it's still the same concept.
That's the leverage that it gives you. And so socially, I don't know about you, but I'll certainly speak for myself. I have devalued the responses via email or written responses that I get across the board because I know most likely it's written by AI. I know that any moron with a half-decent prompt can get out a really formal response. So in my mind, I've already devalued that. So it's not as interesting. Like we submit these different essays for, the program that you were trying to get into. You don't think that the graders over there or whatever the people receiving those
using AI?
They know everybody's using it. So before we probably really valued where someone's grammar was because they took the time to reread this. There's things that you would value because inherently they're difficult. They took the time to reread this. They made sure everything was spelled correctly. They made sure everything flowed correctly. Now with AI, you throw those out the window. And now you're just thinking for like key words, substance. Hell, they probably have an AI that then translates the AI that wrote it, that then throws it in these buckets and qualifies the candidate automatically. That most Fortune 500 companies have that, where they go through your AI, they use AI to go through your resume, qualify you as a candidate, and then grade you out. And then a human says, "I'll take the top 10 or whatever," and look through those. So this is happening at scale. So you just change what you're valuing.
Reno Astro Guy says, an astonishing amount of people I work with use AI responses for almost every email.
Yes.
It's a little concerning.
Yes.
Crispy, on one hand, I enjoy the benefits of AI, but I despair people trying to use it as a magic button, making them less willing to understand things. I feel you there, because my worry, right, and I'm going to speak from the hope of what I hope happens, is yes, we have the ability to have AI write, papers and write for us. But my hope is that now the ability becomes, are you able to look at that? And I know people don't do this, but are you able to look at it and then process it and correct it so that it sounds better? Because to me, when I have something written by AI, I'm the final filter. I don't instantly just send. No, I look at it because I know AI right now isn't perfect, and I know sometimes it's wrong. So
but when it does become even
exactly, so it's like it's a hope I have that's still some form of skill that's still needed.
I think it's just going to move us into things we care more about. I think it's literally that simple. It's like, do we appreciate when we were 100% farmers back in the day, and now less than 2% of our population is farmers that produce. Do we appreciate? Like anecdotally, we think about it, we appreciate the farmers and we appreciate how we get food onto our tables, but it's not even part of I don't think about it on a daily basis of, boy, someone really harvests this grain. And I just eat it and then I go do something that does create value, or I go and do something that is meaningful. That's what this is going to turn into. We're just going to be like, oh yeah, move that over here. Because at some point, it's going to be AIs talking to each other. Like, you're going to train an AI LLM probably on you. And then it'll go back and forth with, your personal assistant. It'll go back and forth with the other person's LLM AI bot. And then they'll get the cliff notes, of how we're going to solve this. It's effective. We're just going to sidestep all that exchange and just do higher level, higher functioning things as humans. So that's this is way sort of off topic, not off topic, but tangential to my original point of the robot, this Neobot, which is, I'm ready for seeing actual products. And I have this interesting thought process that I want to share with you guys. I'm glad that we have a couple people in chat because I think it's an interesting thought train that I haven't quite fully fleshed out, so maybe you guys can help me come up with some reasoning. So there's this bot, right? This Neo bot. You guys can look it up. It's a total bullshit gimmick right now. But the reality is it doesn't have the data.
1x.tech.
There you go. Thank you. The reality is it doesn't have the data. So it's this robot that can go around, and the idea is you can train it to do dishes. You can train it to cook you a dinner.
Grab boxes,
do laundry, make your bed, clean your toilet, whatever it is. Basically a household slave. And you have this thing where it's completely data starved, right? In the sense of, how does it know to walk into a closet and the clothes on the floor are dirty, or the clothes on this part of the floor are dirty, and those ones that this is a folded cloth and that's not a folded cloth, and the ones hanging up are not dirty, and and you can't smell it to know, like, oh, it's actually dirty and it didn't just fall out of the basket, or or whatever. So what it is it's data starved. This bot goes in there and it doesn't, we need cameras in our house to be able to see how humans do these things to create those simulations. We talked about this a while ago, the NVIDIA virtual training data.
Yeah.
Right? Where you basically create this environment and can kind of run all these simulations to say, oh, this is how I do laundry. That's how a robot learns. That's how humans learn, right? They see it, they observe it, and then they interact with it. They make a couple mistakes, but they get better, and they do these things. So robots need that, but nobody has cameras in their closets to get this data. And so I had this thought, and I'm curious to see what you guys think. You as well, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I think until the robot can do everything, it will not be able to do anything. And what I mean by that is we have special purpose devices. I have a vacuum to clean off the floors. I have a toilet wand to scrub a toilet. I have, a dishwasher to wash dishes. I have a stove to cook a stove, like one-off appliances. Now we're talking about folding in a lot of those devices into one, which is a robot. And it's designed after a human, so it has 10 points of contact. And so it can do anything a human does. But here's the thing. How does it distinguish? How does it distinguish? Because people are going to, life happens, right? And how does it know that it doesn't accidentally bump the hot water faucet when wiping down your sink?
How does it know food is cooked?
How does it know, when food is done and to turn off the stove? How does it know to not serve a plate of food on top of a candle to then actually burn a fucking house down on accident? How does it, any number of the things that can happen, Murphy's Law, right? Anything that can happen will happen, right? So my point is, these bots won't exist in nature until it can do everything and it can learn anything. And until then, it will only be a gimmick that can do, these 5 or 6 things. But it has to be able, for them to become ubiquitous in society, they have to be able to do everything. Anyway, that's the thought train that I've been playing with for a few weeks here. Curious to see what you guys have to
I totally agree, because to your point, how does it know? It may know how to fold laundry, but does it understand that it's folding clean clothes? It just sees a command of, I'm folding these clothes that were not folded. Right? Like I'm doing this motion to this cloth. It doesn't understand that's a t-shirt, it's clean now, folded, goes in the dresser. So, I agree. I don't think it would be that marketable, and that I don't think it would be commercially successful without understanding everything it's doing. Because
life gets in the way, right? Hey, there's a baby crawling around. Like, maybe we don't cook in the oven until we take care of that, right? you have to train it for all of these circumstances, right? Like, hey, let's get the baby out of the way instead of I'm here and I'm just cooking dinner, or I'm doing dishes and the baby fell in the sink and I'm just gonna continue doing dishes. You know what I mean? Like, this is what's gonna happen because life. You simulate this across billions of people. That crazy shit will happen. It happens with humans.
It's gonna stick its hand in a blender that's running.
So exactly.
Because it won't. It will.
Or it leaves the blender running and it doesn't think to ever turn it off, and it's not bothered by the noise level.
Yeah.
It's little things like that. So Reno Astro Guy never thought of it that way, but it makes a lot of sense. You need an Ultron level intelligence to really exist in that capacity. Chris P. Well, unless they alpha test it in the general population, it wouldn't be released until it could do all those promised things. But I figure it would still need regular updates to iron out issues. No question. But I think the issue needs to be that it can learn. And we have to figure out how to code that process. Like, I can show it how to do things, but it has to be aware of all those other things.
And then you would have at that point you bring in that the virtual workspace, but you turn it into a virtual home space, and you train it like that. You teach it like that.
That's the whole gimmick of this Neo, is it's taking in data to be able to train for those activities, because we don't have cameras like a Tesla car. A Tesla car is a great example because Elon Musk brilliantly had the idea that he's going to put sensors on all his cars. He's like, I'll figure out the way to make them autonomous later, but I know at least what I'm going to need to make it all work. So he did that, and now he has decades of real world data of that cars driving around successfully and unsuccessfully. He has all of that data. And so now they're able to take that, train that, and you see how long it's taking for autonomous vehicles to kind of work itself out there. It's pretty good, but it's still not trusted. It's certainly not ubiquitous.
Pretty amazing.
We don't have cameras on our own body
in the home
that simulates natural living. Where, hey, this is, of just all the things that I just mentioned.
It's lived experience.
Yeah. Of, so these gimmicks, these robots of us like following around, that's their real value for these companies. Is like, yeah, they have a product that walks around and that's kind of cool, but the value of where these companies are going to see that leveraging moment is that data, because it does not fundamentally exist. We could observe everything else in public life, but our home life, we just don't have that information.
And think of all the safety videos that currently exist for home life. They're cheesy as fuck, and they're not.
You can't train a robot on it.
Yeah, could you imagine if it was trained on like one of the '90s videos of like fire safety, and it's like it has all these cheesy dad jokes as it's trying to put out a fire.
Well, and also everybody's home is not a regulated entity, so you're not going to have like your chemical box in the chemical
box room
in the chemical cabinet.
Yeah,
properly labeled. You're going to have your fucking olive oil right next to your Febreze, counter spray.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you got to be able to. So that's what I'm saying is it needs to, to steal Reno Astro guys, it needs to be Ultron before it ever becomes, I think, mass produced. Mm-hmm. Until then, it's just going to be a gimmick.
Okay, so let's say it reaches Ultron level. What's your first application thought of it?
Can we fuck it?
That's your first. Okay.
Just kidding.
I mean, that was your first. You said it first.
I think there's a few basic household tasks that everybody would want. Laundry, tidying up, dusting, basically that. Maybe just being a hands-on person to help, like nurse care. That's and getting
elderly care,
getting medicine.
Imagine an older person, right? I mean, unfortunately, a lot of home care jobs would probably, like elderly nurse jobs would go away.
Yeah.
But imagine that robot is at the beck and call of that person
24/7.
24/7.
It's like my Roomba, where it can, when it's sleeping or whatever, it can go park itself, and charge up and then, come out when needed and stuff like that. Yeah.
I was thinking of the elderly Reno Astro guy.
3x6.
That's where mine goes.
6. Yeah. That's what the boys talk about. 1,000,000%.
And the men talk about elderly people.
The real men.
I
think you need to check your privilege at the door, sir. Yeah, I don't. I don't. Here's the thing. It's again, I don't think the majority of people buy this unless it can do all those things. Like, do you want to really? Are you going to invite a robot into your house that watches you and listens, follows you around to only do maybe laundry?
The video shows it can dance. It can move boxes.
Nobody's going to give a shit about that.
My friend, I was telling this to Malachi. He's like, no. He's like, I'm not even interested until it can do my laundry. It can do the dishes. It can make my bed. Like the stuff you said. Because that's it
has to do all that.
Yeah.
And honestly, if it costs $100,000, it might just be one of those things that it's going to become a service. It's going to be a subscription service. I guarantee it. And where you get like a new model upgraded and you have a profile. Yeah, exactly. And that it's just going to become like owning a car. You just have a robot kind of doing the things.
Me and my friend were joking already. You could with the price it's at now, not bad at all. We were talking about this tattoo shop and you could be like, now, do you take trades? I'll rent you a robot for a month.
Well, yeah, dude. Well, think about it. You imagine that you go to the robot and be like, hey, I have a 2004, Ford Explorer that I need, that the water pump went out on.
And if it works on it?
Can you spend the next 2 or 3 days in your downtime studying YouTube videos and kind of have an idea of how to do it? And they'd be like, yeah, I'm not comfortable doing the work. And then, but I can walk you through all the steps. And then you're doing it. And it's like, what part is this? Oh, that's actually the blah, blah, blah. And okay, great. Now, what do I do next? And it has done the research for you.
You want this right here. There should be a screw exactly.
Or it just does it for you. Yeah, I don't know. But
that would be, wow.
That's what I'm saying. Until it's going to go from 0 to a fucking 100. Like that. Once it has that data to train on it. And then once it's got that.
So earlier, Crispy did say, if a company could simulate training environments instead of having to steal it online, that'd be a big jump.
Well, that's effectively what that NVIDIA training data is. So,
but that's the factory setting.
Well, exactly. So how do we get it into the house? So the example, to answer that question, Crispy, so they'd set up a bunch of cameras, and the example they gave was they monitored a shipping warehouse for 2 years and then built a digital training ground that was totally a simulation of all of the physical movements that occurred over a multi-year period. And then what they did was they brought in it's not even groundbreaking technology, but they brought in these little robots that basically are forklifts that move stuff. They trained it wholly in this virtual training room. It never made a step onto the factory floor. They then trained it learned, and then they deployed it in the factory, and it worked like it was an employee. It was able to navigate and do all the things first time ever being there, not being tied into, the dummy sensors of nothing's in front of me, 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 No, it was hey, I know exactly what I need to be doing because I've trained on all this data and how this business works. I can do all of the
things.
Didn't
it train at a crazy speed of a certain amount of hours?
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than just training a model as far as I'm concerned. It's just training that simulation to then run and be okay, I can execute on.
Well, it could run so many simulations.
It's totally unique for that business. Yeah. It's not like these were set parameters. Yeah, the perfect. It doesn't take a piss. It was just a totally unique business. It wasn't hyper structured. It was just, hey, this watch and learn, and that's literally what it did. So Yeah, we need that for the home version. I don't know how we get it without inviting
And then sex dolls.
Serious, people. Yeah, people are already having sex with sex dolls. So,
But sex dolls that walk and talk.
There's people who've probably built it.
Probably.
They probably have like an Alexa speaker.
Installed.
And it's like the shittiest AI, girlfriend. Hell, there's AI love bots.
Yeah, the Chat GPT girlfriends.
Yeah. So we already know that exists.
Now you just got to get it to talk, and then like not mess up when it talks. I still love that when you tell it to repeat the word over and over and over.
Our reproduction rate is going to drop to 0.
Drastically.
We have to figure out, maybe we have to delay this innovation until we figure out how to incubate babies. Because nobody's going to have. You're going to have the perfect boyfriend and girlfriend.
Incubate babies in the robot. So you can have.
That's totally different technology. That's like biogenetics.
Buy a human. Okay. You can tape a tablet to its head and use an AI companion. Yeah.
There you go. There's probably a subscription service that'll actually be real.
It probably already exists.
Bang real girls virtually.
Real TM.
Yeah. I mean, they already have those call services like Talk to Hot Babes online. Mm-hmm. Remember those from like the early 2000s? You'd always see those on at late night. Like, I'm just waiting for you to call me. You're like, do people really call this and spend money on that? One time
where I used to work, our phone line for like our back office was 1 digit off of.
So people would call in all the time?
I was calling our back office and did that 1 digit wrong, and I was sitting there and I was like, what the fuck? Because it's like,
you found.
I was like, hi there, sexy. Are you looking? And I'm like, I was at work. I'm like, and I was like, I looked at the phone number and I was like, wait, that looks right. And then I looked, oh no. It was crazy. So cloud gaming,
Wow, what a crazy unintentional accident.
Yeah, it wasn't. I wasn't totally trying to call sex hotline at work. Definitely not. Definitely not.
Definitely did get audited the next month.
Yeah,
cloud gaming.
And cloud
GeForce Now, NVIDIA's latest cloud gaming product. I just saw a pretty big update because depending on what game you're playing, it'll give you better hardware. It's pretty fucking good, dude. Not gonna lie. I still think it has its drawbacks because you have to have an internet connection and all the things, but I could see modern TVs. Once people get used to it, it's going to be a thing.
I called it at least 3 more times.
Yeah. Privately on his own cell phone.
Yeah, I wrote down the number, went home.
But it's good though. It's like $20 a month and you get access to pretty much a massive games library. You could tap into your Steam.
So do you think it's going to be installed on TVs?
Yeah, it already has been. It already has been. Like Game Pass was the same thing with like their cloud gaming. Like Samsung TVs a couple years ago came out with it, and so you just have the app on your TV. You pair your controller to it, and you just play games without a console. And it's $20 a month right now, which we all know that'll just get jacked through the roof. But it's a pretty compelling offer if you link your Steam account to it and you got a PC that you can go with. It still has limitations. It's not its own computer, so you can't really. It's kind of more console-like, honestly, because you can't like mod games and stuff like that. You're still running in a shell. I don't know how things like Discord work. Because are you running like a virtual machine of Windows, and then you can launch those individual applications? I don't know how all that works. But from what I understand, Linus Tech Tips just did a video on it, and like the latency was like non-existent.
We were talking about this last episode, right? Xboxes might transition to becoming streaming machines since they're selling Master Chief.
Effectively, yeah. I mean, the messaging from Xbox is anything with a screen is now an Xbox. So they're entirely shifting into content and not consoles. So I think they're just going to let Sony sort of have that space, which I think that is a big bummer for Sony simps because that just automatically means that they're going to, like, what's the incentive of pricing their PS6 cheap.
Yeah. Well,
There
in the
is none.
competition, the only reason we've gotten such good exclusives is because they had the competition. And I mean, I'm sure Sony still will probably, now they have a reputation upkeep, but there's no exclusive competition. I mean, I guess Nintendo, but they do their own thing.
Nintendo's like is similar to a PC as like an arcade machine.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just so analog. So I don't know. I think that's the model Xbox going. I think they're still doing fact finding, but we're in a weird time. There's so many big studios shutting down. AAA is totally not dead, but hemorrhaging bad. Amazon Game Studio, like I said, shut down. New World's shutting down. Like all their big projects they've cut. The Riot MMO has been changed 6 fucking times. Like massive studios, they're just pumping out their same garbage that they did so long. Like COD and Battlefield, like they're doing the big titles, but
we're finding smaller studios are becoming more well appraised.
Yeah.
Like you have Expedition 33, you have Kingdom Come Deliverance, Baldur's Gate. All these, they're not AAA development studios, but they're getting more of the praise.
Now Sony can make the PS6 upscale at 1080p to 8K instead of 4K with no competition. Yeah. And you know what's funny is like there's no way. I love the branding for PlayStation sometimes because they'll make. I remember Something Cool Gaming told me this, and I had laughed at him. He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna be gaming in 4K on my PlayStation 5," and I'm like, "Ha! No, you're fucking not. There's nothing 4K about that experience. They might tell you it's 4K. It ain't fucking 4K, okay? It's upscaled. It's rendered out. Like, upscaling has been a console feature for decades. This is no different. Yeah, it's so funny to me. It's like, because they can claim that, because you can't validate any of that fucking information.
Home screen's 4K.
Wow. Whoa. So the prettiest thing you could do on your PlayStation is go to the home screen.
Yeah.
You need that kind of detail when you side swipe to your game.
I do. I need to look at, especially they have moving backgrounds sometimes. How am I supposed to enjoy those?
I don't know, man.
Astrobot. Stellar Blade.
Oh, you're one of those guys.
I'm thinking about buying it. I haven't bought it yet. I heard the combat's really good.
Yeah,
That's why
totally. Yeah, totally. And I like to come. I mean, what? Crispies knows all about Stellar Blade. I guarantee that. I know that, man. I know that. He just got a semi just thinking about Stellar Blade. You can play 4K videos of PC footage. Nice. Good lad. Good lad.
See? There you go.
No, I know what it takes to fucking run a game at 4K. 800 watts.
Willpower.
A 5090.
50.
That's what it takes. No, and even that, I mean, like, frame gen is so good. And a lot of games have put in shitty implementations of it, but frame gen is nice. That it's so much smoother. It's unbelievable. And you can get it to kind of geek out, and you're like, oh, that looks weird. But if you're fucking playing the game and you're immersed in the game, you don't notice any of that. And just the smoothness of 120 frames is so good. Oh my God, I'm addicted to my new setup, dude.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't think I would like it, even for like the older games that I play.
What's the one you've enjoyed?
Guild Wars 2.
Okay.
Because I always played it at around like 60 FPS, and in fact, I would just lock my old computer to be 60 FPS because I don't like using 100% of my CPU or GPU because I like to use other applications and stuff. So I like to try and be around like the 50 to 85% range, depending on the game that I'm playing. And so with this, I can run it at 120 FPS, and I'm not even at I'm at like 45, 55% utilization. I could fly around, do all things. It's just buttery smooth, and just some of the animations, it feels so good to play. It's very, very, very satisfying. I love it right now.
Here I am with my PS5. I got Digimon.
30 FPS. And you will like it.
Digimon's pretty good. Digimon's better than Pokemon right now.
Bold.
Did you ever watch Digimon as a kid?
Oh, yeah.
You know, it was funny. So I got Digimon. I think this just speaks to the age that I grew up in. Maybe you grew up in too. But I was playing Digimon, and I pulled my mom in, and I was like, "Do you know what this is?" And she saw it. She's like, "Oh, that's Digimon." And I was like, I was amazed. I was amazed that she recognized one of the characters. And I was like, "That's Digimon." I was like,
whoa.
I'm like, that's pretty impressive.
I'll tell you this, as a kid, I was more into Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
But only because everybody else was into Pokemon. I wanted to be into Digimon, but nobody fucking gave a shit about it. I always thought it was a more mature Pokemon experience.
Yeah.
And I wanted that. But nobody gave a shit about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the card collecting, all that stuff, like nobody else did it, so why was I going to get into it?
It was kind of, yeah, it was like the
B tier.
We have Pokemon at home. And it's Digimon.
That's so good.
Crispy says at least the PS5 is cheaper than GPU. True.
PS5, which one? I mean, when you want to get into this, Crispy, let's fucking get into this shit. Thought you're Philip PC lad. No, I mean, but for sure, yeah. It's the 5090 is a lot more expensive than a PS5. But if we take the current PS5 Pro, you know, I think you could get an RTX 5070 for, you know, $500. You know, and you could build right now. There was a couple years where you couldn't build a PC that was faster.
RTX 5080 price.
Well, I got a 5090 at MSRP. That's the only reason why I pulled the trigger on it. I actually held a poll on one of our live streams, and everybody voted for me to go balls deep into a full setup. And that's honest to God why I went with it.
PS5 Pro is not real. It's a PC gaming site.
Good lad. Good lad. Reno Astroguy, are you a console boy? Like your boy?
No, he's a PC. He helped me build my first PC.
I know that, but you got to double check because sometimes they masquerade as like a PC guy, but then they only.
I want to go back to Digimon eventually
Let's go there right now. We can
while we wait. So I've been playing it recently. Really good. Would recommend it. If you like Pokemon, if you like Digimon, get it. What amazes me though,
is it on PC?
Yeah, I think so.
I might have to check it out. Is it online?
No, it's like Pokemon. It's a story with you know, you train your Digimon and level them up and they evolve and stuff. I bought a PS5 solely to play God of War Ragnarok. Now both God of Wars are on PC and I feel cheated.
Yep. And what's sad is,
but you got to play it sooner.
Yeah,
Zach.
Yeah, but what's sad is we talked about this generation's titles, like the what do they call those? I'm blanking on the term. Where exclusives were ass for the PS5. They were totally underperformed in terms of how other consoles have done in the past.
Well,
so
just the amount of them.
Just think you paid about $600 to play God of War. That's not bad.
God of War, what was it, 6 months early?
That's not as much as Crispy and Dylan has paid to play Zenless Zone Zero, so don't worry.
Yeah!
Crispy, I would love to see the receipts on your end, brother.
I bet he actually doesn't spend that much.
But he's been playing a long time.
He has been. So if you added it up over time. But even then, I don't think
But it's a free game!
Yeah. I think he just grinds the hell out of it. We'll see.
Oh, shit.
That game is free. I don't know what you're talking about.
See, there you go. I told you.
Are you fully free to play, Crispy?
Oh, he has a free account. He has no linked credit card.
Never attached credit card.
But a linked debit card.
I know you do the $5 a month one.
Free spins.
So I fell off of Digimon. I probably like you did. You know, we grew up.
Yeah, nobody else was into it, so it just felt niche.
Going back in this game, I have a mysterious donor.
Is it your other kidney that you keep growing?
He is a friend. I don't know if this.
Are you a friend of a whale? And that whale Is it a sperm whale that jizzes your way sometimes?
Or maybe the mysterious donor is himself.
Yeah, maybe it's his mom. Mom. I don't know.
Digimon. It amazes me how many evolutions there are. So it's a lot. So you get like one little Digimon guy, right? He has 5 possible evolutions. Any one of those 5 then has like 4 more. Then those 4 each have 3 of their own.
All the variants.
And that's
one. Gotta catch 'em all.
And it blows my mind. Now, there's a lot of like cross pollination of like, you know, certain characters can be both. But I just seeing that going into it, I was like, oh, fuck. I'm like, versus Pokemon, you have, no, this character specifically evolves into this character. No, this one's like, I can choose between 5 different characters depending on the stats. And so you have to, yep, that one right there.
Digimon Storytime Stranger.
Storytime Stranger.
$70.
I'm enjoying it a lot, but it's good. And it's, in my opinion, better than Pokemon, as far as Pokemon's been sitting on their fucking ass for way too long. Game Freak.
What do you mean? They just came out with Pal World.
I know. Well, did you see Nintendo tried to like bring a lawsuit against
Nintendo sues anything that moves.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I don't know if
Sony's just as bad, dude. That's how they keep those exclusives.
I don't know if it's Game Freak or if it's Nintendo who's to blame for this. I don't know. But Pokemon at this point is like this, to me, it's just a lifeless like copy paste that they keep doing because they know people are going to buy it. There's been no innovation as far as the systems, the graphics, how it looks, how it plays. I mean, there's a little bit in how it plays, but you take a look at this game here. You look at Digimon Storytime Stranger, and it has everything that Pokemon has and more. And just, it's like, this is the first Digimon game I've played since I watched the show. So it's like, it to me, it's crazy that I'm like, they did this, and yet, Pokemon, what the fuck are you doing? You make more money than them. I know it. I know they have more money than Digimon. But for some reason, Digimon's better. Crispy says, seems a little easier to have intersecting evolution trees rather than making Pokemon from every household object. I tried playing one Pokemon game a few years ago, and it felt entirely like their audience is actual babies. Yes. So to my point, when I was a kid, this is another issue I have with Pokemon. When I was a kid, Pokemon games were made for a wide audience. Now they're being made more for kids, which is okay.
Gotta capture the next audience.
Kids need games, sure, right? But my issue is, I played, let's see, when I was a kid, I played Silver, I played Emerald, Ruby. Those were my Pokemon, right? Those are versions of the game. The one that really turned me off of Pokemon was Sun and Moon, which I was hyped for because they went to their version of Hawaii, and I love Hawaii. I was like, oh, fuck yeah, Pokemon in Hawaii, that's sick. Only to learn it's like a fucking 3-hour hand-hold ass tutorial. And I mean, it is like...
all of 3 hours.
All of 3 hours. So then, if you want to change like your starter Pokemon, you gotta go back 3 hours to start it over again. And...
oh, hell no.
I didn't realize, I forgot. And so I wanted to change my start, so I restarted, and then I realized I was like, fuck, no. And so I never beat it because it felt so much like Dora, what do we do next?
Is the blue ball the right choice? Yeah.
And it was just, it's like...
it wasn't fun.
Versus this Digimon game fucking throws you off the deep end with all these complex evolution lines, and you're like, what the fuck? And it doesn't explain.
It's like, good luck.
Yeah, because, so how it works, you have your Digimon. In order to unlock those evolution lines, your Digimon has to have a specific number stat wise. So like his attack has to be above 500 to get this specific evolution. You have to research, how do I increase his attack stat besides just leveling him up? There's like personalities for each Pokemon, and you can change their personalities depending on how you talk to them. And you can ride them. And yeah.
Wow.
There's a crafting system I haven't even gotten into.
Ooh.
And then we start to do the weird part of Digimon that I still don't know how I feel about it. Digimon, to me, when I was a kid, I always looked at them as like Pokemon, like creatures, right? Like they're not people. But then you get into Digimon, and that line gets a little blurred because they start looking like humans, and they start having like mouths and like chins, and like there's a Digimon. Let me show you. So, or look it up so you can show everybody on there.
All right.
Look up Angewoman. So ANGEWOMO evolution line.
Let me guess. She evolves into certain
So
hotter traits.
Go that one more down. That one right there. Oh geez. Oh geez. Find us a better picture.
Yeah,
than
what? Let me see if I can't find a
Okay.
size.
There's the full size.
Here we go.
So this is just one example. So that little puppy turns into this. Okay, there we go. So that little puppy thing turns into this woman with breasts and a chin and legs. And I don't know how I feel about that.
Like this version right here.
Yeah, so go back and just look up Angewoman so you can see like the full detail of
isn't this it, right? This is her evolution trait.
That's her evolution line, but I want you to see more what Angewoman.
So you're guaranteed to keep Angewoman, because like that's a guaranteed role. But then you get this. Oh wait, no, all these are guaranteed.
No. So it starts off as that little puffball in the top left.
Yep.
Evolves into
you keep
the cat, and then evolves into the puppy,
on.
and evolves it back into a cat,
and then goes to a woman,
and then goes to a woman, or you can have it turn into the dragon and the
like a knockoff Sphinx.
Yeah, but yeah, just look up Angewoman so you can see like what she looks like.
Of course.
Yeah, so that's a cat that evolved into that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that one weirds me out a little bit because I'm like, are they humans? What's going on?
No, they're your slaves.
You use them as you're like fight for me, but it's like, wait,
I don't like this person. Fight. And is this man?
Yeah, I forget his name, but that's the male version. Digimon kind of created furries.
You think so?
We have Digimon to thank for that.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on that, Billy? What are your thoughts on
furries?
Just kidding. Crisp said would.
Yeah, I mean they know their audience. Let's not be stupid here. It's obvious that you got to find some way to inject a big-titted lady.
But like Pokemon,
you could have done that with one of your characters, though. You didn't need to be a Digimon.
Yeah.
But hey, man, I want to role play as a Digimon.
And then like you raise them, right? You evolve them. They're like your
from a fucking cat
into a woman.
Pussy's pussy, man.
I don't know. Part of me likes it because I like we didn't even get to Angewoman. Then like the further down you go, some of these Digimon become like universal strength entities that like
galactic beings.
Yeah, and it's like, oh fuck. Versus Pokemon never reaches that level.
No.
I mean, you get the
Like
legendaries.
a lightning bolt.
Yeah, you get legendaries, but even then, they're like
Bite.
in Pokemon. Those are gods. This one, it's like no, any Digimon can technically become the arbiter of whatever the fuck space and time. It's like, what, you mean any
elemental? Yeah.
Yeah, you should check it out, Crisp, if you haven't.
Pokemon had a weird leak a while in the back where Laura had a lot of
did see
people
that.
having relationships with Pokemon.
I saw that.
Uh-huh.
There was, from what I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, there was like internal documents that some programmers had written, probably, of like
Of course.
Pokemon
dude.
human relationships.
Of course.
Pokemon also had Gardevoirs, yep, with romantic undertone. She starts out a mushroom looking thing. Yeah. But she still looks like, I mean, I feel like Pokemon can get away with it because they still look more like a furry than like a human. That's where I get weirded out. Pokemon, they become bipedal, right? And they might get little boobs or something. But they still look like an animal. This, you're going from a kitty cat to like having skin. And that weirds me out.
Yeah. I'd say so.
Like the ruler of the kingdom of Digimon that you first end up to is straight up a dude wearing a lion head. But he's like a dude. He's got like, it looks like he's wearing a helmet. Like that Angelman. And I'm like, are you just a guy? Like, are you sure you're a Digimon or are you just a dude dressed up? Sounds like I'm closed-minded. I could be.
Crispy's calling you out.
You know, I'm used to
This guy's
Zenless.
got brain rot. This guy's got internet brain rot.
I'm used to Zenless. Okay, my Therians, they stay. There's a Therian. That's the furry creatures.
Until you gotta be open minded though. That's the next DLC.
I guess I do.
Love is love, right?
Love is love.
Dude, you gonna be running for office anytime soon, Crispy? I like the way you think, man.
We never did hear who his mysterious donor is.
Yeah, it might be an AI robot that's found a way to make money
Share it with me.
on your behalf. What if you sent out AI robots to just do?
Meaningless jobs.
Well, that's what's gonna happen.
Probably already
Commercial, yeah,
a
it's
little
just
bit
gonna
does.
Yeah, mini humans. You need to manufacture millions of them. And
Mini humans, babies, children,
yeah, that like
child
you have-
labor.
Yeah, you have like mini robots that can do like really specialized jobs, like crawling into your walls to see if there's bugs and kills mice.
I push a button on a different website and credits appear in my game.
Ooh.
Oh.
You found the transaction. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Damn. PS5, I can't get that.
We call those mods on PC. Yeah. Dylan, where can people find us?
They can find us right here on YouTube, where we stream every Tuesday, 7 p.m. around-ish. Today we're a little late, but that's...
Yeah, the chat was lively. I like that.
Yeah. Thanks for coming and joining, guys. But yeah, check us out every Tuesday. Be right here, coming at you live. Remember, with a good KD.
You get the dub.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.